Employee ownership is where employees have a say and a stake in the company that they work for. This can be employees directly owning shares within a company, to having shares held on behalf of the employees in an employee-owned trust. We're 80.1% employee-owned, so the other 20% is held by an external stakeholder, our investor Capital for Colleagues. Businesses who are employee-owned, there's actually quite a few quite popular ones I think that people would know about. So there's Aardman Studios who do Wallace and Gromit. There's Go Ape, they're employee-owned. There's also Lush, the cosmetics company as well. So there's loads of different shapes and sizes across all sectors of employee-owned companies.
Everyone has a genuine stake in the company, and therefore, yes, they have that say and that voice in terms of some of the decisions that we make as a business. And they're also going to hopefully benefit when the business is doing well. Through various ways, profit share being the most obvious. But with that is the flip side of that. When times are difficult or challenging for a company, we all have to roll up our sleeves and, and kind of take the rough with the smooth.
The previous operators were struggling, for want of a better word, really, to keep the business going the way they wanted to run the business. We had an opportunity then to take that business off the previous operators. It wasn't easy. It was rocky times. Harvey took us into one room, got us all in one room, said, right, I believe there's a business here, we can move this forward. Not sure if I can pay next month, who's with me? And
it's pretty much that.
I kind of put my hand up and went, okay. And 6 people put their hands up. One day I was serving coffees in the coffee shop. Next day I'm cleaning the toilets. Then I'm trying to sell stands, trying to help with the marketing. It was long days and long hours, but we knew we had the culture there. And we knew that if we just kept doing what we believed would happen, we'd get there.
You've got that small kind of group of people that recognise that this is quite a unique, resource that we have here, and we've always loved working here. We just saw that there was potentially a different way to run the business. We wanted to be the heart of the sector. We wanted to be this outstanding business to work for and with, which is where the relationships really come into their own. We narrowed it down to 9 strategic goals, things that are really important to us. Some are very, very simple. So be financially viable as a business, and then below that, there were some priorities. So for us, one of them was make sure we pay all of our suppliers on time, every time. Look after the people that are looking after us. It's about that relationship. That builds the trust, that builds loyalty. It comes down to that kind of difference of culture. So everyone that arrives at the centre is thinking of behaving like an owner or a leader in the business for a start. And then we have a huge awareness about being as transparent as possible, internally and externally as well. And we do that with our exhibitors. So we're very, very honest about the number of people that are visiting us, the types of projects that they've got, the budgets that they've got, and that builds that trust as well. So then when people are thinking about whether they renew their contract with Phil and Gareth to have their stands, that they will do, because they can see that the data that we're providing is absolutely 100% accurate. If you think about what the purpose of our business is, the why, if you like, for us it's about helping people enjoy and live in better, sustainable homes. That's our why. And we can't do that on our own. We can only do that by having the very best manufacturers, suppliers, advisors in the sector, in the house building sector, all together, under this one giant roof, and kind of create that hub, really. So we have to, bring the exhibitors on board, because we can't do it ourselves.
10-year celebration. So in a nutshell, we had a party.
Good. I was hoping you'd say that.
We actually derived some of our own awards. We wanted to recognise not just the employees, but
the key suppliers.
The key suppliers, the people that have helped us get to where we are today. So people that, some companies might forget about, for example, our cleaners, our cleaning team. Amazing.
Absolutely fantastic.
Do an amazing job, been with us through the whole time. They keep this place looking sparkly.
Yeah.
And people like that, we give our Employee Owner of the Year award out that night.
Coveted award.
To Kelly, who's
well deserved.
Well deserved. And we turned it into an award ceremony, and it was a really nice night. Yeah.
I remember the first year we had made a small profit, which was 2 or 3 years into our EO journey. And it was interesting because one of the nice things about being employee owned is you can, if you want to, share the reward, share the profit with your team. So we'd made a modest profit. and I put it to the team, look, we actually could pay a profit share if we want to. What do you guys think? And unanimously, everyone said no. Let's not do that. Let's keep that in the business. We know the recent history of a distressed business that we've all kind of come from. Let's do the right thing by the business. And even today, 10 years on, our kind of rule is that we always retain at least 50% of any profits that we've made in the company. Nice. So we still have that ethos that we put the business first. That said, we have been in a position for 8 years in a row now to pay a profit share to the team, which is an amazing thing to be able to do.
One of the key phrases that I was given was pandemic resilience as well, because in the middle of this 10 years ago, difficult, recover from that, and then suddenly, what was it, 2020,
we thought,
let's throw in a curveball.
Then,
life happens.
Life stopped happening.
Love
We closed the doors. So essentially we were a visitor centre with no visitors. So we were thinking, what are we going to do, how are we going to get over this? So we've got a huge database of previous visitors or people that may have signed up or attended one of our courses, etc. Now we knew through this closure, this pandemic, that they still needed help with their projects. And we thought, right, we've got this huge database of people. Maybe they visited us last week, last year, last month. We're going to phone them. So I'm phoning Mr. Jones. Hi, Mr. Jones, you visited the centre a few weeks back. Sorry, we're closed now. Hope you're okay. Hope you're safe. You were in. How's your project? So we could see what project they had. So Mr. Jones might have had a self-build plot in Bath or whatever. And he'll be like, okay, actually, no, I still need to speak to a heating company, or I was still looking at potentially a window company. Okay, so dig a bit further. Okay, well, I can recommend a few companies for you. We could then send those leads on to our exhibiting partners still.
So it was a way of us bringing the centre to people when they couldn't come to us.
We produced 245 hours of online content attended by 5,081 virtual visitors, and we did 34 individual events. So
wow. And we'd never done anything online before.
Purely because of the pandemic.
We spoke about doing online events, what can we do for our visitors, how can we give them the best experience? But in terms of online events, because we've got this fantastic centre and there's so much here, it never really reached the top of our to-do list because we just wanted people to come and see the centre, because that's, at the end of the day, that's going to be the most beneficial thing, is if you actually walk through the doors and you can look at the different products, read about the services, engage with people, that's probably the best thing. But, given the restrictions, I think we were able to be very agile.
So the Employee Ownership Association kind of recognised what we did and gave us this award for business resilience at the end of that time. So it was probably the best award that we've won, actually, in terms of it. It was, the whole team, were able to kind of get us to that position. And so it meant a lot to us. We really wanted to focus or sharpen our focus on sustainable living, because sustainability is a big kind of thread that weaves through everything that we do as a business. So we launched a brand new show called the Festival of Sustainable Homes, which had a great kind of family-friendly atmosphere, lots of stuff going on, lots of bunting up in the centre and vegan food offerings and things. And it was brilliant. So we're going to bring that back for next year as well. We
have a self-build educational journey that's really popular. We do tours of the Renovation house as well. So we use these exhibits all the time. We know how much people value them and how much can be learned from having a tour with one of our experts or just looking at it yourself. So we're developing the retrofit zone to kind of work alongside the other two, because 19 million homes in the UK are in need of retrofitting. So this is to increase their energy efficiency. That's in the face of the climate crisis and the cost of living crisis as well. So if you're doing a retrofit, you no longer have to sort of try and go to different areas in the centre and work out, what's going to be relevant for you. It's essentially going to be a life-sized cross-sectional exhibit looking at different types of houses in the UK, different ages, just so that, you can basically work out what's going to be right for you and your project. B Corp is something that I believe is going to become huge globally, not just in the UK. And B Corp, if anyone's unaware of it, it's a certification that shows that as a organisation of any size, you have three main considerations. One is your
your workers, your employees. 2 is the community that you operate in, and 3 is the planet. So that you're making decisions that are being very mindful of the impact that we have on the environment, and that just fitted so well with our employee owned ethos, and B, the importance that we are placing on sustainability, both being sustainable as a business, but actually more so perhaps helping people kind of live and design and build better sustainable homes. So we have gone through a kind of 3-4 month process of putting in our application to become B Corp certified. When we get it, because we will get it, it'll be something that we can all be super, super proud of. But again, hopefully when people are thinking about whether they can, come and trust the advice and information they get from the NSBRC, that's another badge that kind of gives people that, that level of trust and us that credibility. We really are going to start celebrating our case studies in 2025 and onwards, because the case studies, they really represent us achieving our why. So came back to what we were saying at the beginning about kind of helping people build those better sustainable homes. Well, we've got a whole bank of case studies that Katy produces and puts together on our website, which are people that have done just that, and the centre has played a really key part in them, in their journey. So that's where you think, do you know what? We're actually delivering on our purpose, and that is the most fantastic thing.
It's really rewarding.
Yeah, definitely.